My name is Judi Felber, and I'm the mother of Judi Felber, who was injured in a terror attack in December 2018. Hey, Judi, good morning. I grew up in America. We made Aliyah from Silver Spring, Maryland, 16 years ago when he was 9 years old. Judi was very Zionistic. He really wanted to serve in the army. He really wanted to be part of the community and help the community. I remember the day that Judi was drafted. I mean, I was nervous, what's going to happen and what's going to be, but I was so proud of him. Judi was right in the middle of his service when he was injured by a terrorist. Somebody came with an Israeli licensed car, and he got out of the car, and then they realized that he was about to shoot them. I called Judi on his phone and he didn't answer. I called again. We heard a knock on the door. We opened the door and the soldiers were there to say, "Your son has been gravely injured. We're taking you to the hospital." I remember going to the hospital. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was going on. The doctor came into the room and said, "Look, it's been a traumatic brain injury. The next 72 hours are critical." But I didn't understand it really. It's hard though. I must say it is really hard. The knock on the door is like no other knock I know. It's eerie, and even before I opened the door, I knew it meant bad news. We knew there had been a terror attack in the area where Judi had been stationed, and the soldiers had been injured and killed, but we never assumed that he would be involved. Who would ever think it would be their child? When we opened the door and saw the three soldiers, we were in shock. One soldier told us that our son had been injured and was in critical condition. We should hurry and pack some things as he was going to be taking us to the hospital. What to bring? What would we need? What was happening? I was thinking, should I bring my computer? What clothes should I bring? Don't forget a toothbrush. The soldier kept barking orders for us to hurry up. Time was of the essence. Once we were on our way to Jerusalem, the soldier told us to call our children, and they would tell them what had happened. They called my other son, who was at university in Jerusalem at the time. They told him to get to Hadassah Ein Kerem Hospital as soon as possible. He said he would take a bus. They told him, "No, order a taxi." I knew it was serious then. My daughter was a flight attendant. She was on her way home from a flight from Hong Kong. She didn't answer her phone. The pilot cut the Wi-Fi on the flight so that she would not hear about her brother in the news. When we were almost at the hospital, the soldier said that he would call the doctor to find out the situation. The doctor said, "Traumatic brain injury." Judi was still in surgery. They didn't know whether he would survive. The Torah portion we read 2 weeks ago in the synagogue was about the binding of Isaac. God told Abraham to bring his beloved son for a sacrifice. In the end, God saved the boy, but no one was ever the same again. In fact, in last week's Torah reading, we read about the death of Isaac's mother, Sarah. Some commentators say that she died of sadness and grief because she thought that Isaac had been killed. These Torah portions speak to me in a very deep way. We moved to Israel 16 years ago when Judi was just 9 years old. Israel is the land of the Jews, where God tells us to move. Judi was almost killed, but God saved him. Nevertheless, life as we knew it ended with a terror attack on December 13th, 2018, in Givat Asaf, near Hebron, where, incidentally, Abraham bought a burial plot for his beloved wife, Sarah. Public speaking at events like this is way, way out of my comfort zone. Then again, since December 13th, 2018, I have been living outside of my comfort zone. It's not been easy for Netanel either. He spent 2.5 months hooked up in the ICU, hooked up to all sorts of monitors. Afterward, he moved to rehab in the hospital. It took 7 months in total before Netanel even fully woke up from his coma. During that time and since, he has worked very hard to get where he is. Still, he never gives up, no matter how tired or frustrated or scared he is. Well, if he can do it, then I can find the strength to stand before you and brag about it. Netanel was in a coma for 7 months. He didn't look like himself. He had all these tubes, and he just wasn't Netanel. Belev Echad came to see Netanel. They knew what Netanel was going through, and they knew more about what we needed than we knew what we needed, and they cared. I had no idea that something like that existed.
אנחנו בלב אחד, זה המשימה שלנו. המשימה שלנו זה לתת כוח למשפחה הזו, בשביל שהם יוכלו לעזור לילד הזה לעבור את הדרך.
Belev Echad is like a lifeline for me. Although it's an organization for soldiers, by soldiers, they don't forget about the families. And that helps Netanel.
בתקופת הקורונה, בזמן הסגר, נתנאל לא יכל להגיע לשיקום בבית החולים. אנחנו בעמותה החלטנו שאנחנו מביאים את השיקום לנתנאל הביתה. וזה רק עוד אחד מאבני הדרך שמעצימים את עמותת בלב אחד.
Belev Echad is always with us. They see Netanel and they see his abilities and they work with him of what he can do. They don't see a wounded soldier by the side. They see Netanel. He's not unusual. He is part of the group, part of the chevra. I think where Netanel is now is a miracle. And I have a lot of faith that he's going to get better and he's going to walk and he's going to talk. I dream that he will walk through the door and say, "Hi, Ima," that he'll be happy and he'll be content and he'll know who he is. He'll have a good life. Netanel has endured a lot and has a long road ahead. He cannot do it alone. He needs support and help from people who really care with all their heart, like the wonderful people we have met at Belev Echad. I remember when they first called to say that they would like to meet Netanel to see how they could help. I was so grateful and appreciative that strangers would do so much for Netanel and for us, his family. They're working with us to find a solution to help Netanel get up the stairs of his yeshiva so that he can be with friends. They've helped us to navigate the Israeli real estate market to find a place that will meet Netanel's needs. He goes to the Belev Echad house to be with friends. He also goes to the farm where soldiers with dogs gifted to them by Belev Echad go for weekly sessions with dog training. Just this past week at the farm, Netanel verbalized for the first time to get the attention of the dogs and of his friends. At these Belev Echad places, he's with people like himself, injured soldiers on the way to recovery. Even I find comfort at these places. Seeing the hope, caring, and concern of the soldiers is truly heartwarming. No soldier who joins Belev Echad has had an easy time. Still, together they support each other. It's beautiful to see. Thank you for your care and support. It makes a difficult situation a bit easier.